Have you ever thought that a $2 million horror film could beat out a $200 million DC movie to become the king of the box office? Yep, I'm talking about Terrifier 3, which completely overshadowed Joker. Folie, Deux. Today we're diving into this incredible box office battle and exploring how a low-budget horror film managed to take down such a big-budget film. Now, horror movies have always been a big hit, especially around Halloween. People love to watch scary and gory films during this season. But here's the thing, Terrifier 3 is an indie film with a cult following. It had a tiny budget, only $2 million, yet it pulled in a whopping $18.3 million in its opening weekend. Can you believe that? Such a small budget and such huge earnings, it's almost unheard of. On the flip side, take a look at Joker, Folie, Deux. This film is part of a massive DC franchise with a budget of around $200 million. People were super hyped about the first installment, Joker, 2019, which made over $1 billion at the box office. Everyone expected the sequel to do just as well, but in its opening weekend, it only made $37.6 million, which is decent. But then in the following weekend, it plummeted by 82% to just $7.1 million. Imagine such a big film with those kinds of numbers. When we talk about the success of Terrifier 3, it's not just because of its small budget or the horror genre. The real draw is Art the Clown. This is no ordinary villain. He's a clown who's not only terrifying but also has a dark and twisted sense of humor. His performance is so chilling that audiences are left speechless by his violent antics. This character has turned the film into a cult classic. When horror films develop a cult following, people flock to the theaters just to see it. Art the Clown first made an appearance in All Hallows Eve 2013, but he really became popular with Terrifier 2016 and then Terrifier 2 2022. I remember when Terrifier 2 came out, there were reports of people getting sick or even fainting in the theater from the film's disturbing and gory scenes. Think about it. Despite the gruesome content, people were rushing to the theater because that's the thrill they're looking for. That kind of marketing doesn't need a huge budget. It relies on word of mouth and social media buzz. That's what really propelled Terrifier 3, and that's what sets it apart. Now, let's talk about Joker 2. This film took a completely different direction. The first movie showed Arthur Fleck's mental breakdown and his battle against society. People connected with that because it had a gritty and realistic storytelling approach. But Folie, Deux switched it up with musical and surreal elements that didn't resonate with everyone. I've talked to people who found the film's complexity hard to follow. And man, there were so many long musical sequences that at one point I felt like I was sitting in a Broadway show. It's not that musicals are bad, but when you go to see a film like Joker expecting a gritty, intense experience and you get musical numbers instead, it's bound to confuse audiences. Joker 2 tried to depict a shared delusional disorder, focusing on the complex relationship between Arthur and Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga. But the way it was presented was too complicated for the average viewer to connect with. Now, think about what people look for during Halloween. They want fast-paced films that give them immediate thrills and visceral reactions. That's why Terrifier 3 capitalized on this window perfectly. Its intense horror and engaging villain, Art the Clown, made it the perfect Halloween treat. In contrast, Joker 2, with its more cerebral and slow-paced narrative, just didn't fit the seasonal mood. And that's probably why people weren't rushing back to see it again. Last year, horror films like Smile and Barbarian also performed really well during Halloween. These were also low-budget films, showing that if you have the right tone and the right content at the right time, you can surpass big-budget films. So folks, this box office showdown proves that a film's success isn't just about its budget. It also hinges on storytelling, execution, and audience preferences. Terrifier 3 made a huge splash at the box office despite its low budget, while Joker 2 with its massive budget didn't manage to impress audiences as much. Which film do you prefer? Are you Team Art the Clown with his terrifying antics, or do you lean towards the musical complexity of Joker 2? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay updated with more content like this. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting box office breakdowns.